Hello and welcome to Camera Review. Today we are looking at one of the most innovative products out in the market to doing all kinds of videos for product photography, for time lapses, for all kinds of things. And I think in a market where it's saturated with all kinds of gadgetry, this product truly stands out. And the reason I like it is because it's very precise, very simple to use. You don't have to do fancy algorithmics. You don't have to do calculations. You don't have to do a big setup. It is compact enough for you to travel into different locations. And the reason I like this is because I've used the products before, and this is their latest product. It's been out in the market for quite some time. I had it and I haven't used it quite as much as I should have. Now it's back in the market for me to produce more videos using this gadgetry. And this gadget is something that I think any filmmaker who wants to do close-up shots, precise shots of things that are not possible to do with just a slider or regular stuff that is handheld, this is a very precise equipment. And I will show you what it is. It's this one here. It is called an Edelkrone. Now this one here, as you can see, it's very simple. You got the camera, you got a mechanics here that does the pan and tilt, you got a sliding system, and they're all integrated. And the beautiful part about it is you can use all this by simply from an app. All the updating for firmwares, everything else is through the app. You don't have to plug this in, you don't have to send it to the company to do firmware. In fact, I just recently did the firmware upgrade on it, and it works flawlessly. No matter where you are, you're going to be able to do this. Now, this thing, what's beautiful about it is it can do all kinds of movements that are very, very difficult to do by hand. In fact, you will not be able to do them by hand because it is very precise in movement. You can do product shots where things are macro shots, and you need to keep the focus in there while you move the camera, which is practically impossible to do by hand. This machine helps me to do that, and I really like it because this machine is operable and turns almost 360, and there's a 360 function right on the app that you can use. It's perfect for time lapses because you can set it, and I say forget it, because you can just get all your shots done very easily. And the beautiful part about it is it has all kinds of axes, so pan and tilt, and this movement here, it's just very smooth, and everything is very, very easy to fit it into a case for when you're traveling or doing something. And I recently used this in one of my product videos I did for a cosmetic company. I'm not here at the liberty to share it because it's clients' work that I've done, and they still are working on their promotion, so that will be out in about a month or so. Right now, this is the product that I have at my disposal that I've used for about, what I would say, 6 to 8 months. They have recently come out with other products that is gonna probably revolutionize the way that we film. But what I do really like is that you can pull focus up to 6 different subjects or 6 different points, and you can do it smoothly. And that's what's beautiful about it, is because when you are going from one spot to the other, it may not be possible for you to pull focus effectively, even if you are a very experienced focus puller. And if you are a person who's got a small crew, don't have a lot of people, this is the equipment that I say you could have, because this is going to do what 2 other people or 3 other people are going to do. One is the camera operator, one is the focus puller, and one is the operator, the Steadicam operator or a jib operator. This is going to give you all those options, and that is what I probably would take if I was going to a location shoot where I had to have limited number of people, or I could not get a budget that I was big enough for me to cover those expenses. This is, for that reason, very effective. Also, you could do all kinds of parallax shots, and those are the things that I really really like, because that is going to give you all kinds of options when you are trying to do all other things like getting interesting shots. And interesting shots is what I will say is movement on two different axes. When the camera is moving, the individual is moving, creating that beautiful shot. And that before was extremely difficult. You had to have multiple takes, you had to have a lot of big crew, you had to bring a whole bunch of equipment on set to be able to do it. Right now it's very simple. Just put this on. It uses these very simple batteries. This one is the battery that I like. This is Canon's E6 batteries. You could put all kinds of batteries. I didn't want to put a V-mount battery, which is often the one I use. I mounted this on my red camera, which is one of the ones I'm using right now for filming. You could use it with red, because this is the Pro Plus version, can handle up to 20 pounds, and it is very very good for that, because that is going to give you shots that other people cannot do, and get that image quality that would have otherwise been only reserved for high-end users and people with huge budgets to do videos. Right now you can use this in combination with other things and create a very very cinematic look, or a look that spells for high quality. And that is what I look for when I'm doing filming, for all kinds of reasons. For example, if I'm doing a shot of somebody who's having a drink in his hand and is bringing it up to his mouth, you want to be able to follow that, and having to focus pull that, having to repeat it multiple times, it gets cumbersome. But with this, you can get it in 1 or 2 takes, and it's beautiful and it's very precise. You know you're gonna nail the focus, especially nowadays when you want to use very shallow depth of field. This is your equipment. That's what I like. That's how I use. For those who say, what is it that you don't like? Well, there are things that have come a long way. I used to have the older version. The Pro Plus is the newer version. The Headplus is the one that I had started with. I could not use it for my large cameras, the ones that I use, mostly Res or the Aries. So I needed something more powerful. This is more robust, so that is what it is. But for any of those indie filmmakers that are going to use it, like the one I'm using right now, this is the Canon 1DC. It was a legendary camera for a long period of time that was used for Fast and Furious and other major films. This is great for low light, and it gives you a time lapse that you can connect this equipment with a cable, and it will do your time lapse, so you don't need to attach extra equipment, and it works in conjunction with the slider, so it's perfect. And it's for those reasons I like using this. What I did not like at the time when I did use it with the older version, or the version that's still in market but it's for smaller cameras, is because I wanted to shoot it with red, and that meant a heavier setup. Mostly people who use this kind of stuff, they have huge budgets with extensive setups. I didn't want to bring those on set because I needed to be mobile, I needed to have smaller crews, and that meant that I could bring a set like this and do filming. On other things, the learning curve that you're going to have with this is so easy, because once you plug this in, you set it up, which will going to take you probably 20 minutes or so, you're going to find out that you can just use the app. There's no confusion about how to use it. It's just you point, you shoot, you focus, you shoot, and then it just goes from point A to point B, getting you the shot. It's that simple. And you can also convert it to time lapse, which makes it even easier for those people who don't want to know how to learn the time lapse. Time lapse is great if you're doing like a transition shot where you're going from sunset to sunrise, or if you're going to go with the cars moving, you could do shutter drag, which is going to give you all kinds of options. So for me, that is a very important thing, and it allows you to get a lot of B-roll. For me, B-roll is crucial when you're creating an image that is going to be one that's something that people will remember. It is for that reason I like to have things that are at my disposal. These are things that I use to create great images. Now, for other products, I have a whole bunch of other products that I use. They're sliders, they are bigger sliders than this. There are all kinds of equipment that is very, very useful for those people who want to use it. For example, on my trip to Japan, I just had the small slider. I put it on the tripod. It did the time lapse for me, and it was just beautiful because it allowed me to create something visually beautiful, because I could use it and I didn't have to move the camera in a certain way and having to stand there all the time. It just made that shot one after the other. Instead, if you had to do it by hand, which is impossible because you cannot move everything in those increments, you had to take one shot, move the cameras, maybe let's say a millimeter, take another shot, move the camera again, take another shot. It would have been very, very cumbersome because you're shooting 900, 1,000 shots to get short footage. That way you could use it in that small frame, and that gave me all kinds of options. That is when I realized that a machinery like this could give you all kinds of advantages. And then of course, those people who want to use it for example, creating commercial work, I think that is incredible, because with the commercial work, you're going to be asked, for example, if you're doing photography, if you could do the video. And video and everything else, they intermarry, because that's where the line is going. That's what the market is demanding. So if you look at all those photographers' websites, you're going to see they're producing motion as well, and that is because what the customers are demanding. Of course, the problem is once you do just photography, you are having static shots, and what people want is shots that are going to be moving. And that is when things get really complicated, because if you have somebody, he's reacting to the camera, he's showing something, he's showing an emotion, he's laughing or he's smiling or he's interacting with a product. And what happens if that person is not there and you just have the product? It's just very boring if it's just a shot of the product, or you're just doing a pan or a tilt with it. That is not going to work. That is going to be not enough if you just do one slide. This, with the parallax shots and everything else, it just creates amazing shots. You could do disappearing shots. You can do shots that are going to be repeatable. And repeatability is what makes this unique, because then you can put a product, you can repeat it a number of times, and you can put other products in there and have it disappear frame by frame, and that is going to give you a leverage that no other product that I know in the market can do it as well as this. Of course, there are going to be all kinds of variations to this. I mean, I've seen the market be saturated, for example, for lighting products, for other things that are produced in the Far East. And the problem is with products coming out of China and everything else, they have copied it, they have knowledge, because that's what the West has been producing, sending them the blueprints and sending them all that information, having them produce it. Eventually, the Chinese marketers, they figured out they can produce the product in a way cheaper price range and sell it to the West, and that has been their game plan. But with a product that is as innovative as this, it is very hard to copy, and it is for this reason that it has no competition in terms of getting something similar to this, which I have had used many times in the past. You're going to spend between $10,000 to $12,000. And at the time, about 2 or 3 years ago, I used the Matthews one, and that was about $15,000. Yes, you had to know how to use it. You had to have algorithmics and everything else. I had to spend a week trying to learn how to use it. And then I had my Steadicam operator come in, and then we had to combine the shots, discuss how we were going to do it. And it was a whole complexity that just required a lot of technical know-how. A lot of people may not have that. And if you're a filmmaker that just wants to do things fast and get it done, this is the product that I use, and that's what I like to use when I'm on the move. And I think that if you were to use it for maybe a period of a year or so, you'll get so used to it that you'll probably not want to use anything else except products, shots that this thing gives you. On a personal point of view, I think there are a lot of things in the market that we think are going to improve our, for example, filming capabilities, or for photography, or for all kinds of things. And we mistakenly buy things that are cheaper. This thing is solidly built. It's got chassis that is metal. It's robust, it's well built, the technology is in there. That is going to last a long time. Of course, with that comes a price tag, which many people might say, oh, it's a lot of money. But if you are going to make money out of that investment, I think this is a bargain. For what it is, it's going to give you abilities very few other filmmakers will have. And it's for that reason I like using it. If you are in the market for something that's smaller and cheaper to use, and you want to start with a slider, you can buy the slider. Next year you can get the motorized version of it. Then you can buy the head, and then if you are in the market for getting like the laser, this has the laser, so you don't have to even full focus. You just point the laser there, it catches the point, and then focuses automatically. It's wonderful, and the focus pulling is just marvelous. You don't have to worry about those autofocus things that miss the focus or have problems or trying to do it by hand. This is very precise. It gets you there, and that's what I like about it. So I hope this has been an informative review. I hope you liked it, and if you did like it, please subscribe to our channel, and if you have questions, please drop it in the comment section and I will answer that. And if you want to know how you can purchase this equipment and get all kinds of discounts and everything else, there are links down below. Just visit it and I think you will be very happy. So I see you in our next review. Thank you for watching.